Your gun collection just lost serious money. We're not talking about broken guns or bad manufacturing. We're talking about reliable rifles people trusted and bought thousands of. Now they're worth way less when you try to sell them. 4 guns dropped over $150 in just 12 months. If you own one of these 7 models, you're losing money right now. Here's which guns to sell before they crash further. Number 7. Mossberg 715T.22 LR Tactical. Mossberg positioned the 715T as an affordable AR-style rimfire trainer. Lightweight polymer construction, quad-rail handguard, adjustable stock. The gun looked tactical without the cost. It served a real purpose. New shooters learning rifle mechanics at reduced ammunition expense. Market volume proved initial demand was solid. Mossberg pumped out thousands annually. Gun stores maintained regular inventory. Ammunition cost made shooting affordable. Everything pointed toward sustained market acceptance. Then the market fractured. 2 problems emerged simultaneously. First, polymer AR-15 platforms got cheaper. Palmetto State undersold the 715T on entry-level 5.56 rifles. Anderson Manufacturing lowered barrier to entry. Once shooters touched a centerfire platform, the .22 trainer lost appeal. Training with reduced recoil became irrelevant. Second, dedicated .22 rifles improved across the board. Savage released precision rimfire platforms. Ruger 1022 variants captured significant market share. Ruger Mark IV performance models dominated competitions. Anschutz maintained expensive but superior reputation. The 715T couldn't compete on accuracy or prestige. It wasn't cheap enough to justify the compromise. True gun value documents the collapse. Demand on used 715T rifles fell 4 units over 12 months. Used pricing compressed to $110 to $180 depending on condition. New rifles sit at retail prices. Most dealers can't move. Search volume on secondary markets dropped measurably. Private sales take weeks instead of days. The specific problem is market substitution. Buyers calculated cost per round difference versus improved performance. A used Ruger 1022 costs similar money but maintains value better. That math made sense. Mossberg lost buyers to superior alternatives with established collector bases. Condition degradation accelerated the decline. Polyconstruction showed stress marks consistently. Handguard cracking reports surfaced across forums. Stock flexing complaints increased predictably. The gun isn't unsafe. It just showed wear patterns aluminum and steel don't exhibit. Buyers noticed. Resale prices reflected that damage immediately. Dealer networks stopped reordering 715T inventory. Gun stores already holding stock couldn't liquidate at profitable margins. Manufacturers' discount accumulation triggered clearance sales. Distributors maintained cases of unsold rifles. Retail channels broke completely. Secondary market couldn't absorb primary market overflow. Mossberg's 715T exists in a dead zone. It's too expensive to be a pure budget option, too weak to satisfy serious shooters, too plastic heavy to maintain value. Current owners taking hits on resale. New buyers avoid the category entirely. The market moved past this platform completely. Number 6. Palmetto State Armory PA-15. Palmetto State Armory built an AR-15 empire on one strategy: aggressive price leadership. The PA-15 launched at aggressive retail positioning, offered lifetime transferable warranty, basic but functional parts. Marketing emphasized value over performance. Strategy worked initially. Buyers purchased PA-15 rifles by thousands. Budget-conscious shooters accepted PSA as entry platform. Gun stores stocked them as loss leaders. Facebook gun groups discussed PA-15 builds and upgrades extensively. Market saturation killed momentum faster than anticipated. Competing manufacturers recognized the budget segment immediately. Delton released identical rifles at competitive pricing. Radical Firearms released new entry models. Anderson Manufacturing offered complete uppers and lowers separately, allowing custom builds cheaper than PSA complete guns. Competition expanded supply beyond demand rapidly. PSA responded with aggressive new pricing. Current retail positioning dropped new rifles to $399. This strategy destroyed secondary market equilibrium. Used rifles became economically irrational purchases. New inventory undersold used stock. Buyers purchased new rather than secondary. Supply collapsed demand. The used PA-15 market reflects this reality. Rifles sell for $300 to $350 depending on condition. A gun purchased for 500 new trades for roughly 60 to 65% loss. Private sellers reduce asking prices monthly. Dealer inventory accumulates relentlessly. Nobody wants these rifles at premium prices. PSA's warranty transferability meant nothing when buying new cost less than transferring used. Logic favored current inventory over secondary market stock. New rifles gained features PA-15 models lacked. Bolt carrier groups improved across competing brands. Barrel quality standardized upward. PSA's positioning advantage evaporated completely. Performance differences matter when alternatives proliferate. PSA didn't innovate after initial success. They maintained component quality from 2015 standards. Modern AR-15s from competing brands featured better triggers, improved controls, superior rail systems. Cosmetic upgrades standardized across industry. PA-15 looked dated by comparison. The generic nature of the PA-15 design accelerated obsolescence. No unique features, no collector appeal, no niche identity, just a functional entry-level rifle competing on price alone. When that price advantage disappeared, value destruction followed predictably. Current owners absorbed significant losses. New PA-15 buyers face predictable depreciation. Secondary market depth doesn't support resale value. Gun shows feature PA-15 rifles at clearance pricing. Private sellers undersell desperate for transaction completion. The market moved decisively past this platform. Number 5. Kel-Tec Sub2000. Kel-Tec designed the Sub2000 to fill a specific niche. Lightweight pistol caliber carbine. Folded to compact dimensions. Accepted Glock magazines directly. Marketed as a truck gun, hiking companion, backup platform. The niche existed and was real. Early adopters appreciated the concept genuinely. Shooting a centerfire rifle from a lightweight, maneuverable platform appealed to preppers and practical shooters. Glock compatibility simplified ammunition handling significantly. Folding mechanism solved storage problems. Kel-Tec built a passionate user base. Trend-driven purchases followed naturally. Gun forums celebrated unconventional designs. YouTube channels featured novel firearms prominently. Glock 9mm ammunition costs dropped dramatically. The Sub2000 rode wave of novelty interest successfully. Retailers stocked them consistently. Gun stores couldn't maintain inventory initially. The wave crested and reversed completely. Kel-Tec navigated generational transitions poorly. Generation 1 and Generation 2 models featured basic ergonomics. Generation 3 release introduced improvements too late. Early adopters held older versions. Secondary market stagnated with outdated inventory. Used Generation 1 and Generation 2 rifles trade for $250 to $300 regardless of condition. That range reflects collector abandonment. Two factors destroyed market momentum. First, AR-15 platform pricing collapsed below Sub-2000 retail. A pistol caliber AR cost $450 new versus Sub-2000 pricing around $550. The AR-15 offered vastly superior aftermarket support, better ergonomics, more reliable controls. Buyers did the math. AR-15 won decisively. Second, PCC, pistol caliber carbine market, consolidated around superior designs. Sig Sauer MPX systems, IWI Taver platform and 9mm, Ruger PC carbine platforms. These guns outperformed the Sub-2000 in reliability, ergonomics, and accuracy measurably. Competitive shooters abandoned Kel-Tec completely. Hobbyists migrated to superior platforms quickly. Kel-Tec's plastic furniture showed age rapidly. Polymer construction required meticulous maintenance to prevent stock cracking. Sights were basic by modern standards. Magazine interface felt cheap compared to competitors. Components loosened during shooting predictably. The gun functioned reliably, but felt dated against contemporary alternatives. Market data confirms complete collapse. Used sub-2000 rifles sit for extended periods even at $350. New rifles at $550 sit on shelves untouched. Dealer discounts mount monthly. Kel-Tec released improved Generation 3 versions, hoping to restart interest. Market barely responded to refresh attempts. Current owners accept resale losses. New buyers avoid the category entirely. Gun shows feature sub-2000s at clearance pricing perpetually. Forums discuss alternatives consistently. The trendy factor that built value evaporated. What remains is a functional but undifferentiated platform with minimal collector interest and poor secondary market depth. Number 4. Century Arms C39 V2 AK-47. Century International Arms committed serious capital to manufacturing AK-47 rifles domestically. The C39 V2 represented that investment directly. Milled receiver instead of stamped. Heavier components than imported competition. American manufacturing positioning. Marketing promised reliability equal to premium imports at competitive pricing. Manufacturing reality didn't match marketing claims initially, but this requires clarification. Century's reputation preceded the C39 V2 launch. The VSKA line experienced documented feeding failures. The RAS-47 suffered catastrophic trunnion failures. Both rifles required recalls. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives investigated manufacturing processes. Field reports documented firearm grenades, partial detonations inside receivers. This history poisoned buyer confidence before C39 V2 initial production reached consumers. The C39 V2 specifically engineered solutions into the design. Milled receiver eliminated stamped receiver failure modes. Component tolerance improvements addressed earlier defects. Field testing showed actual reliability improvements over RAS-47 platform. Early adopters reported solid performance. Some praised accuracy exceeding AK standard, but reputation damage proved insurmountable. Buyers couldn't separate C39 V2 from RAS-47 legacy. The name Century Arms AK triggered immediate suspicion. Positive reviews meant nothing against documented failure history. New models released featuring improvements. Market barely responded. Trust evaporated completely. Used C39 V2 rifles now trade for $400 to $500 in standard condition. New rifles price at $775. Dealers struggle moving inventory consistently. Asking prices drop monthly across all channels. Year-over-year demand fell 2 units according to True Gun Value. 2 units represents market abandonment. The competitive environment accelerated decline relentlessly. Zastava ZPAP rifles manufacture in Serbia with proven reliability dating decades. Arsenal SLR-106 rifles import from Bulgaria with extensive military service history. Tromix and WBP manufacture quality builds from respected builders. All cost less than new C39 V2 models. All carry zero reliability baggage. All maintain stronger resale value demonstrably. American manufacturing narrative failed to overcome reputation concerns. Buyers prioritize function over patriotic procurement instinctively. Century spent years rebuilding trust. C39 V2 accomplished the opposite. Marketing emphasizing American production meant nothing when reliability reputation remained toxic. Manufacturing cost increases across all rifle producers forced pricing upward. Century passed those costs to end buyers. Retail pricing inflated while reliability reputation deteriorated simultaneously. Market positioned the C39V2 as expensive and risky. That positioning stuck permanently. Current owners absorbed losses. Secondary market volume dried completely. Private sellers undersell trying to escape inventory. Gun stores reduce prices attempting clearance. Distributors maintain full cases. The market decided C39V2 isn't worth the premium American manufacturing demands. Century's AK domestication failed completely despite C39V2's actual reliability improvements. Number 3. Kel-Tec SU16 Folding Rifle. Kel-Tec engineered the SU16 as a lightweight utility rifle. Polymer-heavy construction reduced weight below 5 pounds. Stock folded underneath barrel. Handguards doubled as bipod. Integrated rails allowed accessory mounting. Marketing positioned the SU16 as the ultimate backpacker rifle. The concept proved viable initially. Early adopters appreciated innovative engineering. Magazine compatibility with AR-15 platforms reduced logistics. Military interest appeared promising throughout initial production runs. Law enforcement evaluated the platform formally. Kel-Tec built a respectable niche market for a decade. Market expansion never materialized as originally projected. AR-15 evolution made the SU-16 obsolete quickly. Entry-level AR-15 rifles became lighter through advanced materials development. Palmetto State, Anderson Manufacturing, and Ruger offered sub-5-pound AR-15 platforms cheaper than SU-16 pricing. Once shooters handled centerfire platforms, the .223 polymer option lost appeal immediately. Polymer durability became the limiting factor. Users reported stock cracking at stress points consistently. Handguards fractured under recoil predictably. Receivers flexed noticeably. Aluminum and steel firearms didn't exhibit these failure modes. Shooters noticed. Resale prices reflected durability concerns immediately. Accuracy performance couldn't compensate for structural concerns. SU-16 rifles grouped acceptably at standard ranges, but AR-15 rifles shot tighter patterns from identical platforms. Trigger quality, barrel rigidity, and receiver precision favored Ruger and Palmetto over Kel-Tec. Performance gaps widened as aftermarket AR-15 parts proliferated. Current pricing shows complete market collapse. Used SU-16 rifles sit for weeks even at $350. New rifles at $679 sit unsold on shelves. Dealer inventory accumulates constantly. Search volume on secondary markets dropped measurably. Private sales require extended time periods. Kel-Tec maintained limited SU-16 production. New models released with improved components. Marketing refreshed positioning around hunting utility. Market barely responded. The gun's identity remained tied to niche application without mainstream appeal. Trend-driven buyers abandoned the platform. Serious shooters purchased AR-15s. Hikers chose lighter bolt actions. Hunters preferred conventional platforms. The SU-16 filled no category effectively. It cost too much to be a budget option, performed inadequately to satisfy precision shooters, weighed only slightly less than practical alternatives. Niche failure accelerated through 2025 and into 2026. Current owners accept resale losses. Gun shows feature SU-16 rifles at clearance pricing constantly. Forums discuss superior alternatives. The niche that originally sustained sales evaporated. Kel-Tec's innovation couldn't overcome market consolidation around proven platforms. Secondary market depth disappeared. Resale value destruction proved permanent. Number 2. Ruger AR-556. Ruger positioned the AR-556 as an affordable modern sporting rifle entry point. Pricing targeted the $600 segment initially. Forged aluminum receivers, nitride barrel finish, basic furniture. Marketing emphasized brand recognition and reliability reputation. Strategy succeeded initially. Retail demand exceeded production capacity. Dealer allocations proved insufficient. Gun stores maintained waiting lists. Secondary market premiums appeared. Ruger increased production substantially. Supply eventually caught pace with demand temporarily. That equilibrium lasted approximately 18 months. market saturation arrived suddenly and catastrophically. Delton released comparable rifles at $449. Radical Firearms undercut further aggressively. Anderson Manufacturing sold component packages, allowing custom builds cheaper than complete AR-556 units. Palmetto State dropped new pricing to $399, triggering industry-wide pressure. Competition expanded beyond capacity to differentiate. Ruger's manufacturing strategy revealed structural weakness. The company subcontracted barrel production to Carpenter Steel, bolt carriers manufactured by outside contractors. Upper receiver machining outsourced entirely. Ruger controlled only receiver forging and final assembly. This meant identical components appeared across competing brands. Price differentiation evaporated. AR-556 lost manufacturing advantage completely. True gun value data documents catastrophic collapse. New AR-556 rifle value dropped $147.93 over 12 months. That's catastrophic depreciation for a rifle already at a budget price point. Used rifles now trade at $350 to $400 depending on condition. That's significantly lower than historical secondary market performance. Used demand fell 2 units, indicating market abandonment. The drop to $350 represents genuine value destruction. Previous secondary markets saw AR-556 rifles at $520 to $550. Current pricing reflects 51% depreciation from original MSRP. That destroys investment logic entirely. Buyers switch to duty-grade manufacturers or ultra-budget options. Daniel Defense rifles cost more, but integrate all manufacturing in-house. BCM maintains production control. Sig Sauer oversees component supply. Premium pricing justified manufacturing transparency. Budget buyers migrated to ultra-cheap suppliers instead. AR-556 occupied middle ground without competitive advantage. Ruger launched the Harrier platform, attempting to capture lost market share. New color options, updated controls, redesigned furniture. Used AR-556 rifle pricing didn't improve. Damage from market saturation proved permanent. The AR-15 market consolidated around 2 segments: proven budget suppliers matching PSA pricing and premium manufacturers exceeding $2,000. Ruger's middle positioning at $350 used eliminated differentiation. Quality reputation couldn't overcome commoditized manufacturing. Buyers recognized outsourced component reality. Number 1. Remington 783 bolt-action rifle. Remington 783 launched as a serious budget hunting rifle. Original pricing targeted $373 retail. Manufacturing used modern CNC techniques, user-adjustable trigger system, synthetic stocks with recoil pads. Marketing promised field-ready accuracy from an affordable package. Market timing proved catastrophic. Remington filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2020. Manufacturing ceased entirely. Existing inventory disappeared during shortage period. Supply vanished while demand peaked temporarily. Remington emerged from restructuring under RemArms ownership. Production restarted at a higher cost structure. Pricing increased accordingly, reflecting inflation. Meanwhile, the market evolved aggressively. Savage released Axis 2 platform improvements. Accu trigger system proved superior to 783 user-adjustable design. Mossberg introduced Patriot line with LBA trigger technology. Ruger released American Generation 2 with improved bolt design. All competed directly at similar pricing. All featured better customer support from stable parent companies. Buyers calculated upgrade cost at approximately $50 more. Value proposition shifted decisively. True gun value data reveals perception damage. Search volume for Buy Remington 783 dropped 30% year-over-year. Buyers actively rejected the platform. Demand metrics collapsed. New rifle demand remained flat. Zero momentum, zero growth trajectory. 783 pricing reflects bankruptcy legacy. New rifles cost approximately $400. Demand on new units remained completely flat. Used rifles trade at $250 to $325 depending on condition. Used value stagnated below $300. That's significant loss from $500 original retail. Buyers calculated risk analysis. Remington's bankruptcy history raised questions about long-term support. Parts availability uncertainty created genuine concern. Warranty service reliability seemed questionable despite Remarm's assurances. These factors weren't rational. Remington stands behind products. But perception matters in firearms markets. Buyers preferred competitors with uninterrupted operational histories. Manufacturing cost increases forced 783 pricing upward relentlessly.